Hey, welcome back. Okay, I think we're live. So this is part 2 of the Boundless Body, Boundless Money protocol or process. Today we're really going to talk about the path of pleasure towards profit or using pleasure for profit. But before we go there, I want to give you a very brief recap of what we covered in part 1. So in part 1, we explored how your boundless body is essentially the gateway to what I call your miracle self. We looked at how when your body is truly open, truly relaxed, it becomes basically an antenna and a compass. It becomes an antenna receiving what you want, and it becomes a compass showing you the most expedient, the most enjoyable, the most easeful path to your goals and your desires. And finally, we explored how, as part of that compass, your boundless body is a portal, a calibration machine. It allows you, and you use it to start to calibrate yourself to become a match for what you want. So essentially, through tension and constriction in the body, your body shows you where you're still holding on to limitations, where you're operating in your life and in your business from a past wounded self and from lack and woundedness. Essentially, it shows you in the body all the ways that if you don't meet this, you will sabotage your progress and your process. Now, interestingly enough, through the body and through the amount of aliveness, of spaciousness, of openness and relaxation you can create, your body also shows you how to get calibrated for what you want, how to get in alignment for what you want so that you do not create friction and resistance and you become in absolute alignment and capacity for your desires and your goals. So that was last training, part 1. Today, we're going to dive deep into an aspect of this work, which is all about how pleasure is actually the pathway to more profit and how increasing the quantity of your receivership, how much you get to have, is created and made easier. I don't know if that's great English, but you get my meaning. Is created and made easier by protecting and expanding the quality of your experience as you grow. So essentially, quantity is built on quality. What we're doing in this part 2 is we're teaching the body and we're exploring how, essentially rewiring the body to feel safe with feeling good and making feeling good a priority as you go after and you start to accomplish your goals is essentially the fastest way to release any kind of resistance, any kind of friction, any kind of sabotaging patterns that you have so that you can get to where you want to go as quickly as possible. Essentially, in many ways, pleasure, so at least this portal, which is pleasure, is a way to collapse time and space between where you want to be and where you want to go as quickly as possible with as much ease as possible. So here's like the core of this, the fundamental truth in this specific piece of the puzzle. The quality of your receivership, how good the process feels, directly impacts the quantity of your receivership, how much you allow yourself to create and to have. So what we're doing here is we're shifting and making sure that receiving and having more actually feels good and nourishing and easeful rather than hard and scary. All right, so before I take you deep into this, I want to take a minute to introduce myself in case you're new and to bring you a special offer that I've got running for the entire month of March. So if you're new, hi, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Ilsa. Feel free to say hi. Let me know where you're watching this from. A little bit about me personally. I'm a total bookworm, a little bit of a hermit. I'm a total spiritual nerd. I'm a dog mama and a nature lover. That's kind of me in a nutshell. I'm married. I live with my 2 dogs in Boulder, Colorado, and my husband, obviously. He's included in that. Professionally, over the last 20 some years at this point, I keep saying 20 years, but at this point, it's been more than 20 years. I've been working or I've worked as a psychotherapist, an expansion expert, and a strategist, helping high level, mainly, I help all sorts of people, but mainly I work with high level service providers and transformation leaders. I help them rewire their nervous system, their brains, their bodies, and their business for easeful growth, for consistent results, for deeply nourishing, supportive, and exciting levels of money. So essentially, I help them be more, create more, and receive more without any friction, without second guessing themselves, without stressing out, and without sabotaging their process. So if this calls to you and you're curious about going deeper in the work that I do, this entire month of March, I'm doing a March Money and Miracles special, where my somatic mastermind, the expansion experience, is at a significant discount. So it includes everything. It includes some really powerful curriculum. It includes weekly practices. It includes expansion lessons. It includes expansion mini retreats 3 times a month where we practice together, and there's space and time for sharing and mentorship and Q&A time. And it also includes one-on-one sessions with me at any of the levels. But if you move forward in March, you essentially can save up to, I think it's like $1,300, and you can get started for as low as $144. So if you're interested in finding out more about exactly what that includes and what it looks like, I put a Google Doc link in the description of this video that gives you everything that you need to know, or I'm also happy to hop on a call with you and have a conversation. All right, so that's my spiel. Let's get started. So because, as we all know, or most of you know, energy follows your attention. Essentially, you get more of what you focus on and what you're currently experiencing, because usually we're focusing on our experience, which is why we want at all cost to move away from a paradigm of heavy and hard, from worrying, from pushing, from efforting, from focusing on what's missing or not working in our life and business. And we want to start to shift to a paradigm of pleasure. Because when you focus on what's not working and you focus on how hard it is and you're pushing and you're efforting, what that's actually doing, it's almost like pouring cold water into a boiling pot and wondering why it's taking so long for the water to start bubbling. So the negativity, the fact that going after what you desire, after your goals, doesn't feel good, literally starts to constrict your nervous system and send a message to your body that creating more and having more of what you want will actually lead to more turmoil, more struggle, and is bad for you. And so when that happens, what that creates is it creates a sort of resistance in the body that leads to sabotaging patterns. So today we are exploring how increasing the quality of your receiving, the quality of your process, so that more feels really good rather than scary or heavy, is actually the fastest way to get to your finish line, to get to your goals, and to increase the quantity of your receivership. Essentially, more pleasure always leads to more profits. So now let me dive deep into this. When we are looking at receivership, there's usually two major aspects to receiving that are here. And most people only focus on one. So oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes when somebody will book a call with me or start working with me, what they're focused on is they want to increase the quantity of their receiving. They want to make more money. They want to bring in more clients. They just want more of what it is that they're wanting. So that's the first part of receiving. That's the quantity. Being able to receive more and hold more of anything that you desire, whether that's money, whether that's visibility, clients, authority, vitality even, or love, intimacy, support. Like you want more of something. The second aspect of receiving, which most people never focus on or rarely focus on, or at least they don't focus on it until they've received what they wanted and they realize that having more of the things they wanted actually doesn't feel better. So suddenly they're like, and I do get quite a few people who will start working with me at that level. They actually have a successful business. They're in a good place financially. But they're burnt out, they're depressed, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't do what they thought it would do, or they're making money but they have no free time and they're drained, all of that stuff. So the second aspect to receiving is the quality. Being able to receive more and to hold more of what you want, but to do it in a way where the experience of it feels really nourishing in your system. So quality here is about how much ease, how much joy, how much delight, how much pleasure and nourishment can you experience in the process of creating, getting, receiving, and holding what you desire. And what people don't realize is that quantity and quality are completely intertwined, especially from a nervous system and embodiment perspective. And even though most people are focused on quantity, to actually shift that and to start to focus on quality is the fastest way to get to quantity, and to get to quantity in a way that is sustainable and repeatable, replicable long term. So, and here's the reason why. If the way you create and receive in your life, in your business, feels hard, if it feels effortful, if it feels heavy and draining, if it feels like it's going to come at a heavy cost or sacrifice to you and to your enjoyment of your life, then your nervous system and your body will start to shrink, will start to constrict, and it will not trust it. It will not trust your goal. It will not trust your desire. It will not trust more. And it will start to brace, to armor, to resist and block and sabotage you having more. So to give you a tangible example, if bringing in more clients and more money, if having more visibility or more authority feels like it will come at a significant cost of your time, your energy, your joy, and your freedom, like having more clients is going to lead to everyone wanting a piece of you and potentially people not getting results and not being happy with you, and you having to do more and give more time and not having time to enjoy your freedom, essentially, or if a sense of you having more visibility is going to lead to more people judging you, more people attacking you, more people humiliating you or questioning you, or more money, you having more money. Like I'll have clients who say that. Like I had one client said to me, I'm afraid that making more money than my husband will shift the dynamic in our relationship and will create friction. Or I've had clients say to me, like I'm the first one to go to college and to like actually do well. I'm afraid that if I make more money, everyone in my family is going to have a handout and that I'm going to either have to give it all away or be a complete bitch and say no to my family members. And in terms of providing them and giving them what they want. Or sometimes you'll have one family member that's like that. That's maybe a little bit of an energetic and tangible vampire. And whatever you want, they will want a piece of. And so if it feels like having more is going to create struggle in the process or at the end, then there's going to be a part of you that will fear it, that will resist it, that will essentially contract against it and will push it away. I call those, like, for example, this is a very common one for me. If one of your highest value and one of the things you want most is ease and freedom, plenty of free time, and you feel that bringing in more clients is going to sacrifice that or is going to come at the cost of that, then that, what I call shadow desire, the desire for more ease, for more freedom, for more space, is going to actually sabotage your ability to bring in more clients. This is something I've worked with a lot, making sure that pleasure, just because I am someone who really wants to feel good in my life, that pleasure is at the foundation of everything I create, both in terms of the process of getting there, but also in terms of the outcome in the end. So these hidden desires that you have, these shadow desires, need to be taken into consideration when you are going after your goals, or they will get in the way. And by the way, like discovering what those shadow desires are and figuring out how to really include them or release them is covered in detail in my somatic mastermind. It's a big part of removing that friction and that resistance so that we can receive. So here's something I want you to keep in mind. We, as human beings, we, as most of us are in the Western hemisphere, where we're living in a collective of, like making money and growth, we are almost conditioned and wired to expect things to be hard. We are conditioned towards struggle. Literally, our bodies have been wired to expect things to be heavy or hard for the good, meaning we have to pay for it, we have to earn it. And that's true to such a degree that our body oftentimes does not know how to relax or feel safe with feeling good. And it's to such a degree that for a lot of us, if something feels too good, if something feels too easy, we don't trust it. Like that saying, if it's too good to be true, it's not true. Like there's something in us that is literally conditioned to mistrust, distrust feeling good and things being easeful. And the moment that something does come to us easily, because we don't trust it, we're waiting for the other shoe to drop, or and we're starting to brace, like our body goes in freeze, or our body goes into hypervigilance. And then we're back to focusing on what's wrong, or we're back to expecting or waiting for things to go wrong. And we start to shift our biochemistry, our identity, our neurology towards wrongness rather than goodness. So, a huge amount of this work, like I talk a lot about money because money sells. But the truth is, I couldn't care less about money. What I want for you is I want a life that you love. I want a business that you love. And money, oftentimes, is the happy ripple of that love. And so the way that we create a business, a life, wealth that we love is by starting to rewire, recondition the body away from that addiction to hard and towards peace and pleasure and our ability to create from that peace and that pleasure. So at this level, we're learning to expand our nervous system and to rewire our body to start to feel safe with feeling good, and to start to anchor inside us that growth more from rest, from ease, from flow, from pleasure is not just safe, but it is natural. It is actually our birthright, and it is the most sustainable path forward. So what we're doing with this pathway of pleasure, we are breaking that habit, that addiction to hard, and we're starting to recalibrate our entire body towards making feeling good and pleasure and freedom a priority in creating and having more. And the reason this is important is because as you start to rewire the body towards enjoyment, towards peace, towards pleasure, as you start to really cultivate how much ease, joy, delight, nourishment you allow yourself to experience in the process of living, achieving, receiving more, what that's going to do is it's going to shift at a biochemical, at a neurocircuitry level, your body, and it's going to allow you to start to trust that receiving and having more actually is safe. And what that's going to do is not only is it going to increase your capacity for more, suddenly your body is going to open and relax towards the idea of holding more and having more without feeling the heaviness of it, but it's also going to calibrate yourself. It's going to start to shift and allow your body to become a match for what you want, because there will no longer be any resistance to it. So as I stated in part 1 of these series, the more enjoyment, the more you can feel a yes in your body towards what you want, towards the desire, the goal that you have. This is your body's way of letting you know that you have a huge amount of capacity for it, that you have space for it. And it's your way of your body to let you know that it is getting aligned and it is starting to match you towards that outcome, both in terms of neurology and also in terms of identity. Now, in the mastermind, I give you a ton of practices around rewiring your body for pleasure. But I want to give you a couple things here that you can start to play with. And in part 6, I'm actually going to go over some more practices that you can use to really start to shift your paradigm as well as your embodiment. So when it comes to pleasure and to increasing it in your life and in your business, there's usually 2 main paths. The first is to look at what in your life and in your business already feels good. Like, what is it that you do? What is it that you enjoy? And start to teach your body to steep in the goodness, to savor it, to cultivate it, to take it in even more. Essentially, when you start to cultivate your capacity to feel good for longer periods of time and at a deeper degree, what you're doing is you're actually starting to normalize feeling good in your body. And the more you do that, the more you will allow feeling good and having enjoyment, feeling nourished, to be a significant part of your creation and your receivership. The other piece of that is as you really start to cultivate feeling good and steeping in goodness in your body, you start to unwind that conditioning that we talked about around things have to be hard, and you start to release resistance towards ease and joy. You start to literally rewire your body, your biochemistry, your neurocircuitry, your identity into being someone who feels good, someone for whom things are easeful, someone who experiences joy along with more of everything they want. The second piece that you can focus on as well, or you can play with, is starting to shift what doesn't feel good. So I want to invite you to look at what you're doing in your life and in your business that does not feel like pleasure, that is not enjoyable, that is not nourishing to you. And the reason I say this is because, as I stated, so many of us, most of us, are conditioned for things to feel hard and to not feel good, that we don't actually question it. Like this concept of like, hey, it's called work because it's supposed to be work. Like there's something in us that expects that if we want to get more, if we want to create more, we have to sacrifice for it. We have to pay for it. In some way, there's a cost of our time, our energy, our enjoyment. And so the second aspect of cultivating the good, cultivating pleasure, is for you to start looking at what is it that you're doing that you assume you have to do that does not feel good. And I want to invite you to do a couple things. One of them is to really start to figure out what is it that is actually not necessary and that you could replace with something that actually feels better. The other piece of that is if you can't let it go, if you can't replace it, then I want to invite you to look at how you can shift what you are doing so that it doesn't feel so hard or so that it feels more nourishing. And there's numbers of ways to do that, right? Like I'm going to give you an example. Doing my accounting, like at the end of the month, or doing my taxes at the end of the year, like does not feel good. But it's something that I feel like I have to do. Like, even though I have an accountant, I still need to put all these numbers together and know all of that stuff and input and all of that. And so I found ways to make it feel better. I take breaks. I don't schedule anything else on those days. I make myself a little plate with some of my favorite food. I splurge on my favorite tea. I go for walks. I'll do an hour of it, then I'll pause, or I'll do half an hour of it, then I'll pause and go for a walk. Like I have figured out a way to not make it feel as heavy as it used to feel. So that's my other invitation for you. The first one is to really cultivate feeling good and to teach your body to relax, to steep, to take it, the good, the feeling good even more. And the second is to start to get curious as to what you're doing in your life or your business that does not feel good, and either release it and exchange it with something else, or find a way to actually make it feel better so that there's less of that conditioning and that resistance. So this part 2 of this series is all about rewiring your body to increase its ability to enjoy, to savor, and to feel safe with feeling good, and to make pleasure a foundational part of your growth, of your receivership, of your profits. Because if you do not do this work, you will make everything hard in your life, and you will make every win that you have come at a heavy cost. And that hardness, that sense of everything cost you, will create massive friction and massive resistance in your body as well as in your experience of how you create. Part 3, when we meet next, will be, which is I think Thursday, will be all about releasing resistance and chronic tension in the body. So we're moving, right? These first we're anchoring pleasure, now we're going to anchor peace and release chronic conditioned resistance in the body so that you can receive more. If this work resonates with you in the expansion experience, my somatic mastermind, I provide you with tons of different kind of both expansion meditations, expansion practices to rewire you for that pleasure, that peace, as well as lessons to really start to shift your identity into being somebody who is in alignment with feeling good and actually creates everything from a place of fulfillment and joy and ease. So if this calls to you and you want to go deeper, then I want to invite you to join the expansion experience during our March Money and Miracles special, where you'll literally be saving up to like $1,300 or $1,400, and everything will be included in there. You can start for as low as $144. So I made it in such a way. There's different levels and different payment structures so that anyone who wants to experience this work and be rewired, be transformed, can have access to it. It would truly be an honor for me to put my 20 plus years of experience to work for you and to be your guide on this journey towards more in terms of your experience and more in terms of your receivership, so that you can create the results you desire in a way that nourishes all of you, from your soul and your body all the way to your bank account. So my goal in the expansion experience is to help you essentially feel deeply safe with being and having more. And for some of you, that might include helping you create a wildly profitable, super simple, stress-free business with recurring revenue that gives you a shit ton more freedom and white space so that you can actually live and enjoy your life. But whatever your goals are, I will help you achieve what you want in resonance and in partnership with your nervous system and with your boundless body, so that you can have maximum flow, maximum alignment, maximum freedom and enjoyment in your life, in your work, and in your wealth. Because expansion isn't just strategy, it's neurology and it's identity. And in the mastermind, we work on all three. We work on all three, both in our intimate group retreats. There's 3 of those a month, and also in our one-on-one time. Everybody that literally, it doesn't matter which level of support you choose, everybody gets some level of one-on-one time with me, because I want my hands on you and I want to really tweak the process to be unique to you and to what it is that you want to create. So, here are my wishes for you for this program: that you wake up every morning feeling enthused and feeling at peace for the day ahead, because you know exactly what to do to move the needle, to grow, to make sales, and you know what to do without overwhelm or second guessing yourself. If you're an entrepreneur, being helping you double or even triple your prices or what you're getting paid with ease and joy, and feeling so much conviction, so much confidence that inside you, that everything comes easily and you get to sell with unwavering relaxation, almost like a sense of being lean back. So, and it's this level of expansion, this level of relaxation transfers to your ideal client, and you get one easy yes after the other, or helping you essentially be so authentically you that there's no need for any tricks, any mask. You get to be effortlessly seen, opportunities find you, and your ideal clients, just by your mere presence, instantly know that you are the one for them. And from a non-business perspective, helping you become what I call impervious to the dramas of life, being able to break free from the shit that drains you so that you can eradicate self-sabotage and liberate your growth, your dreams, your joy, your income. Being able to actually shift your mood, your state, your energy back to excited, inspired, peaceful, motivated in minutes, no matter what life is throwing at you. And essentially, this program is about creating high levels of safety, of joy, of play and ease in your life, in your business, and in your receivership. That's my wish for you. That's what I want for you to create and discover in 2025 from your body out. So if this resonates with you, then I want to invite you to check the description of this video, where you're going to find the Google Doc that has the entire description of the program. We'll work together to activate what I call your 7-figure nervous system. We'll calibrate your body, your self-identity, and your business for the big life, the big impact, and the income that you desire. And we'll do it all without any kind of overwhelm or sacrifice necessary. Because I want your whole journey to feel easeful, nourishing, natural, not just the destination. You actually can't get to the destination, a destination of freedom, for example, if you don't imbue freedom in the entire journey. Just like you can't create expansion from contraction. So please check the description of this video. I have in there the Google link, so you can check out the program and get all the details in there in terms of what's included and the cost. Like I said, if you move forward during this March special for Money and Miracles, you're going to save up to $1,300 of the regular price, and you can start with as low as $144. I am really excited to show you how to rewire yourself for wealth. And yes, I mean financial wealth, but I just mean the wealth and the abundance of being alive, and help you find ways that are truly aligned to you to experience easeful growth, impactful visibility, and consistent results and money. All right, that's my spiel. I will see you in a few days for part 3, releasing resistance.